You need to define your goals before you launch a podcast. Now, I've talked with so many different people who have wanted to start a show or even have an existing show. And when I talk to them, one of the first things that I'll ask is, what is your goal? And a lot of times, people don't have one. Now, if you're one of those people, that is okay. My name is Vince Quinn. I've launched dozens of podcasts from scratch. And what we're going to talk about today is what it looks like when you don't have a goal and how to define it so that you can have a stronger podcast. Let's start with what a show that doesn't have goals looks like. So one of the first things is you have a wide range of topics. And that can be, entertainment shows, right? You're all over the place. You're talking about movies. You're talking about music. You're talking about your dating lives. You're talking about places you ate around town. Like, you're all over the place. You can't pick anything that you really want to do, a lane that you want to be in. And because of that, it's completely scattered. Well, people are going to have a hard time connecting with you because they don't know what to expect each time that they go to your account, right? Like, think of some of the biggest creators that you follow. What do they have? Consistency in what the topic is, right? They're talking about a certain area and they cover a bunch of things in that area time and time again. So you have a wide range of topics. You don't have a goal of where you want to be, where you want to drive the show, where you want to build your audience. Another problem is you're not going to see any growth, right? On social media, with the downloads, the views, whatever it might be. Like, you're not going to see any real progress for where you're going because you're not progressing towards anywhere specifically. You're just doing stuff, right? Like, you're just getting the show out. So let's say you're new, you're getting a show out, you tell your friends about it, they listen, and they listen for like an episode or maybe even 8 minutes of that episode. And then, maybe they check out episode 4. And then you have 4 downloads. And you're like, all right, why am I doing this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's because you don't know what you actually want to get out of it. As a business owner, right, that is one of the big things. And I'll talk about this in a couple of minutes of like just different ways that you can drive your show for your business. But whatever you're trying to do, if you don't have a goal, you're not going to grow anywhere because you don't know what that growth is. Or if you grow, it's accidental and it's not something that you can replicate and put more energy into. So you need a goal to grow somewhere. And the problem with all of this stuff is, like, it's a real lack of enthusiasm that comes with not having a goal because you're doing all of this and you're not seeing the growth and the show is all over the place. You don't know what you're doing each time. You're just throwing stuff against the wall and hoping it works. So eventually that grinds on you a little bit, right? Like, that's a very natural feeling to have. It's very fair because you care about it and you want to see the progress, like that love and joy and passion that you have. You're trying to share that with people. Like, you're opening up yourself to the public. And when nobody cares, like, it's really hard. So it's going to grind on you. But that is the reason why you need to set goals. So whether it's an entertainment show and you're finding that audience, or it's a business and it's not aligning with your business goals and your business isn't growing, you need to define what that goal is. So let's start with the base question of defining a goal, which is, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this podcast? What do you want to get out of it? What makes it a success for you? You need to know this. And if you don't know it, that is okay, but take the time to think about it until you do. Because again, this guides everything. It guides the topics, it guides the channels that you work on, which ones you choose, the kinds of content that you put on those channels. Like, everything comes together underneath a goal. And if you're doing an entertainment show and the thing is, hey, I want to be rich and famous in this certain area doing, talking about these kinds of topics, like, fine, just be honest with yourself about that's what you're trying to do. It's going to make it easier for you to commit. For a business owner, a lot of the things that you want to get out of the show are awareness. You just want people to know your business exists. So you're making all this content to get the word out there that, hey, I'm here. I'm a business consultant, for example, and I can do all of these things to help your business. So give me a call, right? Another thing is networking. You want to meet new and interesting people that can upgrade your social circles, get you better connections, get you more business, or meet with the certain kinds of people that you think directly from that conversation you can convert into business. But that is a goal, right? If you're doing a podcast, to have guests on your show so you can ultimately flip those guests into customers, that's totally fine, right? That is a goal. You're doing the show as a sales magnet. You're bringing these people in, and then you're flipping them. Like, easy, but that makes sense. It's directed. For us with this show, it's generating leads, right? I want people to become customers. They have a podcast, they're interested in it, they have a business, whatever it might be. Like, they want a business podcast and it's not working for them, or they have a podcast that is monetized and it's not getting better, and I fix that for them. So I'm generating leads, and like, you'll see it in my footnotes, right? There's ways to book a call with me. You can see my website, you can see it on Instagram, you can see that on TikTok, like anywhere you go related to me and this show and this company. Like, we're trying to get your information, we're trying to follow up, we're trying to build leads. It's just what this is, and that's what it's about. It's why I'm sharing this with you, right? Like, you can do the same thing for yourself. And last thing could be, just as a business owner, you want to establish yourself as a thought leader. And that's totally good too, right? If the whole thing is, hey, I want to get all these authoritative sound bites about me with the idea that I want to be a public speaker, I want to get paid to go to different corporate events and be a speaker there. I want to develop a book. You know what I mean? I want to get paid to be on shows as a guest, like, which certain people can do, So it's like, okay, those are the things you can build to, but at least you have a business goal in mind and you know what is most important. So by defining a business goal, you can then guide everything underneath that. How's this all in alignment? If you have too big of a goal, it can crush you. With a standard podcast, like I said, these goals are pretty specific, right? Business podcasts, like, you want to get awareness, you want to get networking, you want to generate leads, you want to build an audience. But if you're starting a podcast and your goal is, okay, I want to change the industry for this thing, like, you're doing it all wrong. This is not going to help you. You got to have a basic, simple goal and expand from there, right? One of the things is, don't boil the ocean, is what people say. And it's completely right. Like, have a small goal and expand. So let me give you an example of this, right? Like, I was in an event, and I was talking to somebody in marketing who was starting a podcast for a trade school. And the whole idea for the show was they wanted to get students to sign up for the school, which is a good idea. But in this case, their goal was more than that. So it wasn't just to sign people up for the school, but also to be the biggest, most interesting podcast in that trade space, whether it was electrical, HVAC, like, I don't know. I'm a podcaster. But whatever realm that was within the trades, they wanted to be the #1 show nationwide for that trade. It doesn't help them. They had one location in one state on the East Coast. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you have to dedicate everything. And this is what I told the guy. I said, you need to have everything that you do be focused on getting people to become students for your school. And if that is the job of the show, then everything comes together from there. This is how you need to approach your podcast, right? Simple goal, simple expectations, simple level of success, clearly defined, and put everything that you've got in alignment in that box and give it time. If it doesn't change in 3 days, it shouldn't, right? Unless you have hundreds of thousands or millions of subscribers, like, you will not see any major change instantly. But find that goal, be honest with yourself about what that goal is, fully commit to it, and things will get better. Talk to you soon. Make sure to subscribe wherever you're tuning into the show. And if you'd like to have us work on your podcast, go to sbxproductions.com and book an appointment.